Howdy, everybody! We're back with a whole new adventure. Mario adventure. Paper Mario adventure. Corey is also here.
No, you're not supposed to tell them. I was gonna sneak up and
And what?
scream surprise?
In their ear?
Yes.
Like an asshole?
Yes.
Like an ass?
Yes.
Okay, so...
Alright.
It says to hit start.
Yep, you know which one that one is, right?
Yeah.
The big red one. There you go.
It's the big red button.
I have never played this. How do I have a file named after me?
Are you sure you've never played this?
Yes. Allie? Okay, Allison's played this. My
That was...
ex-fiance. And Sly played 9959, maxed out fucking everything.
Jeez.
And I'm level 2, which means I've done more than just start the game. I've played the game, because Kohai's my nickname. That I would have used a long time ago. I don't remember ever playing this game, not once.
You played 1 minute and 6 seconds
I'm
of it.
pretty sure that's an hour and 36 minutes.
No, it's a minute. This is a very short game, in my mind.
Okay. So, right now, though, Shane's playing. When we get annoyed with that, we'll probably switch over. Who knows? He's an asshole.
I am nothing of the sort.
Asshole.
Fuck.
Alright, what name are we coming up with? Oh,
Pump and Stump.
I was thinking, start with A, and then hole.
No, it's gonna be Pump and Stump.
That's a lot of words, and also, you don't have enough letters. You don't even have enough letters for pump stump.
Really?
Yes.
Fine.
If you hear a squeaking noise, that's the controller.
Controller is very, very near dead.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna buy... I bought a new Nintendo 64 controller, one of the like newly made ones, from like a card shop, video, or like a nerd shop. But they play just like the old 64 controllers, but a little bit worse because they're not made by Nintendo. And they're manufactured to be cheap and cheaply reproduced so that you have a controller that functions. And that sucks, so I'm just going to replace... The problem with my other controllers is that the stick is worn out like they do. I'm just going to replace it with the GameCube version of the stick, which I can take it apart and do that. I'm pretty tech savvy.
I'm nothing of the sort. And I'm just like fucking battling this controller to move it without making noise or any of the resistance.
Yeah, if you look at the controller closely, you can kind of see where the beginnings of DualShock and like where the beginnings of the button layout comes from. Because if you like ignore the center part entirely, you can kind of see the flow of the controllers that are coming afterwards.
Right.
And then that they just move that stick over to the left and move the D-pad down. So basically, all they end up doing is swapping the D-stick and the analog stick. Because they realize you use the analog a lot more. But instead of having the extra nub in the middle, they just kind of move the D-pad under the stick, and that's kind of how controllers work these days.
Right. Okay, so also, if you've ever seen me before in person, like...
I haven't.
I have a bit of a gut, and I like to play the games with it on my stomach, the controller right there. And it's actually stabbing me, because there's a gigantic middle controller handle stabbing me directly in the stomach. I feel like I'm under attack. Is that what the point of this game is? Immersion. Playing the stabbing game.
I seriously don't remember. I've seen people play Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door, and stuff like that, but I've never seen this Paper Mario from the N64, the one that's just called Paper Mario. And honestly, looking at it, it looks, even though I know it's like 2D, a 2D rendered world, there's some 3D rendering shit there too, I don't know. It looks pretty good for Nintendo 64, like 1999 and back.
Right. I mean, oh, hey, fuck. I'm in control. In control.
Oh, this looks just like the N64 version of the game we just played. Like you have the door on the left and the door on the right, you know. Super Mario 64 that we just played.
Well, I think we're in Princess Princess Castle.
It's just cool that they modeled it to be similar, not exactly the same. Since Bowser's not in the window over there. How did you get in there? You're supposed to have 30 stars. Wait, what the fuck?
She's apparently doing some stuff, and we're interrupting. Better move. She's my boo.
She's not there.
Oh, fuck.
Then you hear, oh, Peachy!
Oh, Peach.
And that's Bowser.
I know.
That's Luigi.
Oh,
Like,
God.
oh, Peachy! And then you hear like, oh, Luigi. And Mario's like, what the fuck? And it's like, which one of you wild bitches is in there? Is it Waluigi or Wario?
Wario, what does Wario sound like? Do you remember?
He's, all I can remember is, when he loses at Mario Party, what it sounds like he's saying is, oh, I missed! But he actually is saying something in German, like, oh, ein Mist, which is like, I lost, or something like that.
He's German?
Apparently, it seems like it. Ish.
So Mario's Italian, and Wario is fucking German?
Maybe. I don't know if the facts are straight, because I heard that from somebody, that he didn't say, oh, I missed. He said, oh, ein Mist, or something like that. And I'm like, that sounds actually a little believable, because oh, I missed sounds like a weird thing to say when you lose a game. Oh, I missed!
But then he's definitely in like a Wario world. He's speaking English.
Yeah, but so is Mario. He's not speaking Italian. Or French.
Or spaghetti.
Oh, well, the ravioli.
So I feel like spaghetti is like how Spanglish is to us. Like Italian American, both blending together.
Oh, we have missed most of the plot. I don't remember.
Do we need plot? It's
Yes.
an RPG. I don't ever get the plot.
RPG is the whole point of an RPG is plot.
No.
Other than that, it's boring.
I play Final
They all
Fantasy.
play exactly the same.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why the plot matters. That's why Pokemon is a good RPG and Final Fantasy is a bad one. I'm kidding. A lot of people like Final Fantasy. I never got to play it though.
Oh yeah, it's a really good RPG. Yeah, as far as I can say, like I want to say I ignored some of the plot. I just ignored some of the storylines because I have to admit.
Haven't you looked? Oh wait, it's never Mario talking.
No, ever.
Never. So this is Peachy. Peachy. She just says Peachy at the end of everything. You can never defeat Mario, Peachy. Why don't you ever give up already, Peachy?
Was she Meowth?
True. This time I'm gonna win. Okay, tough guy, let's go. And they just wrestle around and like softly.
Whoops!
Mario's like, oh god, no! And starts to run away. And Peach is like, I'll give you puss if you do it. And he's like, oh god, yes.
Jump. Bowser.
Boink! You have to hit A as you land on him, I think. I don't know if that's actually implemented in this game. I just know that's 1,000-year door. Yeah, you have your jump attack, so...
Fuck.
I have no idea. And I think you have to hit like B as he attacks and you can block it or something. She'll probably yell something.
I mean, they have to say something.
I mean, I don't know. Good old Mario. Always fighting. You're a thorn in my side. I mean, he has lots of thorns in his side.
I know.
I think that's deliberate.
What?
I think that's supposed to be a joke. Because he has a bunch of, thorns. the spikes. Take a look at this. This is what I stole Starrod. Rawr.
You mean a vibrator?
He does talk too much. It'd be better if he was like, fuck you, Mario! And then they fight, and then he goes, I have more power! And he holds up a star rod, and then they fight again. That's pretty much all I need.
I think fuck you, Mario would probably be the best.
It'd be funny if it came from Luigi.
Yeah!
Fucking
Mario.
Mario.
Fucking always be the second best in all of the games.
Ooh.
Oh,
You just got your shit slapped. You're in danger, so you better try jump.
Right? I can't do anything else.
Sure. Oh. Oh!
Oh no! I'm going to die.
Oh.
Bitch, do something!
Yo, you can't. You can't select that now. Jump. Jump on him. Do it!
I'm going to die.
Yup. Just as I expected. You're a bitch! Give myself snort.
You're a bitch.
You're a bitch, a bitch, a bitch.
He's gonna catch me on fire.
Oh god!
He hit me with a 10 at 2 health.
Jesus.
What
if you hacked the game so that you didn't take any damage and that you always gave like a lot of damage, and then you made it where you actually beat him? I wonder how the game would handle it. I'd tell you how. As soon as his HP drops to 0, it would fucking freeze because the game doesn't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah, there's nothing beyond that point.
Unless they have a trigger, unless there's like an in-game trigger that triggers at his HP hitting 0 for whatever reason, period. If it's Bowser HP equals 0, beat the game, here's the final cutscene.
That would be awesome.
That'd be kind of cool.
They would have actually put that in there.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have been on a Game Shark somewhere out there.
Oh yeah.
Like...
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And there's I've looked up like there's like you stop sliding your feet, you little piece of cancer.
Fucking what?
You're a piece of cancer.
Oh wow, you're an actual dickhole.
You're sliding your feet. Do you know what these people are listening to? Me being funny and you.
I mean, it's better than your jokes. Ooh, burn! Let's do this thing.
Like carpet burn from you sliding your feet across the floor so fast. That's my jokes. They're funny. They're hilarious.
At the very least, we've fallen about a bajillion miles down after being caught on fire.
Yeah, but Mario doesn't take fall damage. Except in Mario 64, where he takes fall damage. And Super Mario Sunshine, which we should play. I do have GameCube, and I love Mario Sunshine. And maybe Shane could pachinko himself.
No, thank you.
Oh, you're a bitch, a bitch, a bitch, bitch.
These are cute.
Bitch.
I actually like these stores. Except for the old one. Because, like, he's old, but then, like... that's about it.
But the other stars are young. You know, like stars.
Like, we're about 1 million years old. He's about 3 million. He's the oldest. I'm over here just being a fucking asshole.
The good thing about GameCube games is they can still be bought at relatively cheap prices because they play on the Wii, and people that's like the oldest console that people still have pretty consistently is the Wii.
Right.
And that's and because they play on the Wii. Look, I see one on eBay for $12.
Is it a disc or a cartridge?
Disc. They stopped doing cartridges at Nintendo 64, and then they started up again on the Nintendo Switch. They're going back to cartridge. And the reason is because a cartridge can be read much faster because all it does is use electrical signals, and it's all hardware. But an optical disc literally uses a laser to look at the bits. And because it has a physical aspect to it, how fast you can spin the disc. Right. It has a limit, a pretty low limit at its speed. But back when games were kind of slow and clunky in the first place, there was no need for that speed, and discs were more like easier to deal with, and you didn't have to deal with different registers on different pins and all this shit. You didn't have to deal with the firmware and the hardware itself, and it was a whole mess to deal with cartridges back then. But CDs were like coming around and they could hold more data was the thing. The CDs, even though they had limits to their speed, they could hold a ton more data. But now we're at a point where we have like SD cards that can hold far more than most CDs. Although CDs can still hold a ton. Like that's why you can get an optical hard drive or hard disk drive, and it'll have like you can have up to like 10 terabytes, and they're like coming out with like helium ones that can put things together closer, that you can have like 20 terabytes. The point is it's really big, but the biggest solid state you can get is like, I think they just came out with like a 6 or an 8 terabyte. because there's like limits to the space.
I see what you're saying. I know what you're talking about.
But they ended up going back to like cartridges in the Switch because it's faster. It's still faster, but also that limit of like 10 terabytes to an actual solid state drive is so high that who's gonna have a 10 terabyte game? No one.
Oh, what is not 10 terabytes? But what is the largest video game that's been created?
I don't know. It has to be at least. I would if I would give a guess, not including expansion packs and all that shit. If I was just gonna look at like a base game, I'd say we see plenty of games that are like 50 gigabytes, and we see plenty of them reaching 70 to 80 gigabytes. I could assume that a really big one would be like double that, and you'd hit like 150 gigabytes at the base game.
Right. But
that's still like the biggest micro SD card right now. The biggest that's the teeny ones that are about the size of your pinky nail. The micro SD cards. The biggest one is 500 gigs.
Okay.
Which is pretty big, but the biggest game can't be bigger than 500 gigs really, and that's a micro SD card. That's not even considering like an actual SD card, which is like 4 times thicker, and then 8 times bigger, wider, like a bigger area to it too. So like those things could hold gig or terabytes. So when you have the Switch games, which are even bigger than that, they're like thicker, and probably because they have to use like different types of registers to load different parts of it really quickly. But the whole point is that you don't really have a limit anymore on the physical cartridge, but the speed is still amazing, and so you don't get any load times almost ever on a Switch game because it's all electrical and pretty instant. Any load times that you do get are basically load times for the game itself processing images and shit. Like the GPU, I don't even know if a Switch has a dedicated GPU.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't even know for sure. But at the same time, like, I was always told that discs were going to be the thing of the future.
They were for a time, yeah.
They kind of crap out super duper fast.
Yeah,
it was another issue.
There was a lot of drawbacks to it. Yeah,
they scratch.
The thing about a disc. Okay, so when you look at a cartridge, there's only so many times that you can put it in and take it out before you start like literally wearing out the connections, the pins.
But the connections are easy to replace, are they not?
No, I mean they're not easy to replace. Have you? If you, let's say that you wore out a USB, like with the pen connections. Do you personally know any way of actually finding someone or somehow to solder those connections back on? No. Like, it would be easy for someone who is skilled at computers and soldering and stuff like that, which is not me. I'm good at computer stuff, but I'm not really good at like populating PCBs or that's printed circuit boards and whatever. Okay, I'm not good at the soldering stuff and the physical part of circuit boards and motherboards and stuff like that. So I don't even think I could replace those pins, because then you have to think also, because those pins are like flat. Whatever. I'm talking too much about this stuff. I get really excited about tech. Ugh, I love it. But for a time, long story short, we did have cartridges, and then CDs came out and they could hold so much more data, and they weren't necessarily faster, and they technically had a bigger longevity. Like, they wouldn't ever wear out because nothing ever touches the CD.
Right.
Except you. That's why they wear out so much faster, is because they are way more delicate, and you brushing on it and scratching it and dropping it breaks it. Like a cartridge wouldn't break. But if you never did, if you never touched it and scratched it up and all that stuff, if it never fell on the floor and got sandwiched between shit, then it would last forever because nothing ever touches the disc. It's always just red on with the light, and the light is so low power that it's not going to like burn anything into the.
It's just
it's not going to break it.
Isn't it like infrared?
Probably. It's probably. I don't even think it's infrared, because I think it's visible light. It might just be like really low power red light, but it might be infrared. It might be higher powered laser. But because it's reflective and whatever. Yes or no. I'm not actually sure. I can get Super Mario Sunshine from GameStop.
I mean, yeah, I guess. But at the same time, like, why GameStop? You know how they are. Okay, if ever we do get to the point where we start getting sponsors, would you want to be sponsored by GameStop?
Look,
they're going out of business as is.
well, there's multiple reasons why they're going out of business, and it's not really because of their business plan, because of their whatever. I have nothing personally against GameStop. I understand that they do shady stuff, but most of the shady stuff that's done are done by the people who work at GameStop, and it's not GameStop itself. And then when it comes to like, yeah, they gouge out the prices. When you go to sell your stuff, you get $5 and they'll sell it for $30. But if you've ever been to a nerd store, if you've ever been to like a comic book shop, or you went to sell magic cards at a card shop, you'll get a $20 magic card. They always pay you. They usually have a base price of 50%. It's worth $20. We'll give you $10 in credits or $8 in cash. That's pretty much how it works.
Yeah.
And no one has anything against that because they're taking a gamble in the first place. Because that card isn't going to be worth that forever. Or maybe it'll be worth more. Or whatever. So you get the cash now. The company will pay for that cash right now, or with cash right now. Same with games and stuff. Like, can you believe how much money is lost at GameStop when they stop taking Game Boy Advance games and shit? How much it takes to like push out those games for almost free because they can't deal with them anymore because it's overstocking them, and they don't make them enough money because the GameStop like as GameCube games become like less played, less people buy them, but they're also worse than Wii games because they're older generally. So they have to sell them for less. And they're older, so they have to sell them for less. And they're more common in the world, so they have to sell them for less. So they end up making, like, you end up going with your Xbox games, your original Xbox games, or your GameCube games, and it's like, well, we can give you $15 for your 14 games. And it's like, no, but I spent $40 per game or more. And you're like, well, no, because they're not worth anything to anyone anymore. Or maybe they will be. You know, there's some games that lose price instantly, or not instantly, but lose price over time.
Yeah.
But then it becomes fanatically traded for and stuff like that. You can never predict it. That's kind of the reason why collectibles become collectibles, because no one predicted it. If someone predicted it and everyone knew that it was going to be collectible, then everyone would have it and it wouldn't be collectible.
Right.
Or it wouldn't be rare enough to be a collectible. It's a whole thing. I haven't been paying attention to the game at all.
You mean like the Black Lotus card from
Oh yeah. And that was like, yeah, Black Lotus is like a $10,000 card in its mint condition from Magic the Gathering, from the Alpha Pack, from the very first pack that came out. And back when it came out, it wasn't actually good. It was like decent.
Yeah.
Because all it did was it was a 0-drop artifact that gave you 3 mana. And if that doesn't mean anything to anyone, because we're on a show right now, basically what that means is that you get basically 1 mana per turn, one additional mana per turn. So you start with 1, then you get 2, then you get 3. But this was something that cost 0 mana, gave you 3 immediately, and basically puts you 3 turns ahead of your opponent, which is good one time in the game, which makes the card decently good. But now that the game is got thousands of different cards and thousands of different combos, that one card that you play for 0 and then sacrifice it for 3 mana can be infinite comboed off of with like dozens of different card combos that'll just infinite combo using that artifact sacrifice, like keep getting mana type deal. So
right.
You can get like infinite mana or infinite life or this or that from like infinite combos. And because it is the most easily comboed card but also costs 0, and that's why it's most easily comboed, its price is phenomenal. But also because it's extremely rare, there's like hundreds of them in the world, and because they're so old that they always end up getting bent and creased and garbaged, it's a whole like lots of different reasons why this card at its most expensive, at its rarest and most mint condition, is like $8,000 solid.
That's like...
I would never... If I found a card like that, I would immediately shit my pants and start sweating. Like, don't breathe on it.
Don't mess with it. Yeah, I would fucking... I wouldn't even know how to hide it.
I couldn't even tell you how much $7,000 would change my life.
Yeah, I'm one of those people who are like, if I won the lottery, I wouldn't know how to handle the lottery ticket. I would be like freaking out every second.
Like I would call them up and be like, hey, how would you cash a lottery ticket? Like, what's your lottery ticket limit? And they're like, oh, it's like $500. I'm like, okay, I have one that's a little bit more than $500. Where would I go to cash that in? And they'd give you like a website or some shit.
It's not a website. You have to drive down to like, we live in Georgia, so it would be like Atlanta. And so you have to go that distance
with $1 million ticket in your car.
Yeah.
Freaking out.
So, like, the first time you have to stop and get gas, you're gonna shit your pants because you're gonna get out of your car and go inside and pay.
You know that's gonna be in your pocket.
Even if it's in your pocket, what if it falls out when you go to get the money? Like, there's 1,000 things that's gonna go wrong before you get there, and that's why,
it sounds so intense, and that's just like. But as soon as you get the money, what would you do with it?
Again, I wouldn't have any idea. Because it's right up there, like, the reason why the ticket is so valuable is because it's one that's worth that much money. But the reason why anything else would be, like, the money isn't as valuable as that ticket is because, like, you can replace the dollars a million times over rather than the ticket that one time.
Yeah, if it was, honestly, I feel like this sounds like it's most people's answers. Most people would say, oh, I would save it, but that's obviously not what happens when people win them.
No.
They never save it. They always just go spend it. And I probably would do the same. I would honestly, what I would go for is, they would ask if I wanted it all at once, one-time payment of $1 million, but they take off like 30% of it themselves, and then taxes. It's a whole like thing. 40, whatever, I don't care. The point is that you get a lot less if you take it all at once. Or you could take it in payments of 10 years and get it over every month for like 10 years. Or every year for 10 years. And you get like $100,000. And I'm like, I don't think I could spend more than that in 10 years. Plus, if I fuck up and spend it all, I have another payment coming. Like, I can't accidentally not spend it. But also, you're trusting a business to not go out of business or some shit.
Yeah.
And we're in a very volatile country right now, where depressions and
government shutdowns.
Yeah, and government shutdowns and all this shit is happening. I don't know if I could say confidently that I trust anyone to hold that much money. So I'd be like, one-time payment of $600,000, please, and then I don't know what I would do with that money. I would think I would, because you'd have to put it in a bank. I think I'd put some of it in an offshore bank. Because again, the government's volatile, but some of it obviously in a bank here. But okay, so I'm getting too technical. I always do. Always get too technical.
Right.
Damn it. What I would do with it is pay off my fucking college bill, which is like $60,000 right now. Pay that off so that I can get that off, like from over my head. Pay off my medical bills, which is only like a couple $100 at this point. I've been doing pretty well at getting rid of that. And then I would go back to the hospital and get my high blood pressure actually checked on because I don't have the money to like
fix it.
Right. So I'm pretty much like, honestly, the way high blood pressure works is in like 8 years, it's almost inevitably gonna like give me a heart attack unless I have scrounged up the money before then to find a doctor to help me fix it. It's pretty much how. So without money in 8 years, I'm just gonna die unless I find some extra money lying around to fucking fix it.
Like, get healthy.
Yeah, and it's not even just like eat better and all that shit. I've been eating, like, drinking nothing but water or water-based, like, I'll have like unsweet tea. I don't drink the aspartame because that seems to like increase my blood pressure. Apparently, like, the diet, like, the brown food coloring, I guess, that they put into the Coke also can raise your blood pressure. I stopped smoking. It's been 3 months since I smoked. I'm very proud of that. It's been 30 minutes since we started this episode.
Oh, has it really?
Yeah, I could talk for a long time.
Yeah, you can. I think we found your purpose.
Just talking. No one gives a fuck. I feel bad because I talk so much. I feel like this episode's garbage.
No, it's them getting to know you a little bit better.
Yeah, sure.
I think that works out. It's a payoff. People do that. People listen to podcasts because they love the people that are talking.
Yeah, but I'm pretty unlovable, so you're the one that has to do the talking.
That's not true. It's not true.
It's not. That mushroom looks oddly like a penis.
It looks like a little one of them, but they all look like penis.
Why do you keep doing?
Controller.
Yeah, okay.
Really?
So you understand the whole controller thing, right? Because you're only controlling someone moving at the speed of smell. I was controlling fucking Mario, who was like, whoa! Fucking Christ. But you see what I was talking about with the fucking controller, right?
Yeah.
See, look, it looks like a penis because it actually has like a bell end type shape. Like it is a penis.
I mean, if he had a shaft, it's just the head.
It is a shaftless penis. Yeah. It looks like
it's chode.
It's a dickhead. You're a dickhead. Oh my god. Can you believe how big of an insult? Like I feel like calling the Goombas a dickhead is the equivalent of calling someone the N-word. You're a dickhead! Like, because they look like the dickheads. Like, the head of a dick.
Right.
Why don't you go get that? Oh, it's just a sign, isn't it? Never mind. It looked like a block that you could jump and hit.
It's one of those...
I wasn't kidding that we had been, like, it's been 32 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, time to end this episode.
See you guys next time.
Bye.
Paper Mario. Okay, now.